The grave whispers your name, but you have not yet earned the right to lie in it. The man who buried himself alive. Listen, listen well, for the earth yawns beneath your feet, hungry for the weight of your bones. But what will it swallow? A life half-lived, a soul untested, a name written in water, not stone? You walk now, yes, but you are already dead if you have not wrestled with the great question. What will remain of you when the last mourner leaves your grave? I have seen men build houses they will not live to inhabit, plant trees whose shade they will never feel. And yet, these are the immortals, those who understood that legacy is not a thing claimed, but a thing forged in the daily anvil of choice. The coward believes his name will be remembered for existing. The fool thinks his gold will buy eternity. But the wise know, only the echoes of your deeds outlast you. Consider the farmer who tills barren soil season after season, though he knows the harvest will not come in his lifetime. Does he labor in vain? No. He plants for the children of his children, for the unborn who will one day taste the fruit of his patience. This is the sacred contract of existence, to be a bridge between what was and what will be. Yet most men live as if they are the final chapter. They hoard, they indulge, they squander, leaving behind nothing but a ledger of debts and a trail of unmourned days. They rot in comfort, forgetting that comfort is the moth that eats the fabric of greatness. And when death comes, as it must, it finds them empty-handed, their souls light as chaff in the wind. But you were meant to leave scars upon the earth. Not the scars of carelessness, but the marks of a life that burned so fiercely it left the ground forever changed. Let them say of you, "Here walked a man who did not beg for life's mercy, but demanded its meaning." Build then not for applause, but for the ages. Write not in ink, but in fire. Let your life be a monument not to your vanity, but to your valor. For the grave whispers your name, but you have not yet earned the right to lie in it. The fire in your bones will either make you or burn you alive. Why most men die before they are dead, there is a hunger in you, a restlessness, a gnawing, that you mistake for discontent. You are wrong. It is the divine spark, the unrelenting whisper of what you were meant to become. And yet you dull it with trifles, numb it with small pleasures, bury it under the weight of cowardly compromises. You are not unhappy. You are unfinished. I have stood at the bedsides of dying men who wept not for their sins, but for their surrenders. I could have been more, they gasp as the light fades. And the tragedy is not that death comes, it is that they welcomed it long before it arrived, having long since killed their own potential. The fire in your bones was not placed there to warm you. It was placed there to forge you. You think it cruel, this relentless yearning. It is the mercy of a universe that will not let you sleep through your own destiny. The man who flees his hunger flees himself, and spends his life haunted by the ghost of the man he refused to become. Look around you. The world is littered with the hollowed-out shells of those who chose comfort over calling. They move, they speak, they breathe, but they are corpses in costume. Do not join their ranks. Let your hunger consume you if it must, but never let it be ignored. For the fire will have its due. Either you will rise with it, or it will reduce you to ashes. The hourglass is your only master, and it shows no mercy. The coward's clock, tick, tick, tick. The sound is not in the walls, but in your chest. Each beat a grain of sand falling, each breath a theft from eternity. You hear it in the silence, that relentless whisper. What have you done with me? What will you do with what remains? Time is the only currency that cannot be hoarded, only spent. And yet, how do the weak spend it? In dithering, in hesitation, in the cowardly art of waiting for the right moment, for permission, for courage that will never come unless seized. The grave takes no interest in your excuses. It comes all the same. I have seen men clutch at time like misers, yet waste it like drunkards. They say, tomorrow. They say, when I am ready. They say, one day. Foolish mortals, one day is the siren's song that lulls the ship of your soul onto the rocks. There is no one day. There is only this day, the one slipping through your fingers as you read these words. The ancients knew time as a god, cruel, indifferent, unyielding. They did not beg it for more. They wrestled with it, carved their meaning into its face, left their mark upon its skin. And you, will you be the coward who lets the hourglass empty while you kneel before it, pleading? Number rise. Now the clock does not pause for your fear. Your comfort is a coffin. Nail by nail, you build it yourself. The man who sold his spine for a chair, behold the modern man, cushioned, coddled, swaddled in ease. He has traded his sinew for satin, his calluses for comfort. He believes himself safe, he is wrong, he is dying. Comfort is the slowest poison. It does not strike like a viper, but seeps in like a fog, dulling the edge of ambition, numbing the sting of purpose. The man who seeks only comfort is the man who has already surrendered. He does not know it yet, but his soul rots in the gilded cage of his own making. I have walked through the halls of the comfortable. I have seen their eyes, glazed, lifeless, like fish pulled too long from the water. They have everything and nothing. Their hands are soft, their wills softer. They have forgotten the taste of struggle, the sweat of effort, the fire of resistance. And in forgetting, they have forgotten themselves. You were not made for cushions. You were made for cliffs, for the raw, untamed edges of existence where a man meets himself. Throw off the blankets of false security. Let the wind bite your skin. Let the world demand something of you, or remain in your coffin. The choice is yours. The storm is not your enemy. It is your maker. Why the weak pray for calm while the strong sail into the gale? You beg for fair winds. You tremble at the clouds. You curse the waves that dare test your hull. Fool, the storm is not here to break you. It is here to reveal you. I have stood on decks slick with rain, ropes burning my palms, the sky howling like a mad god. And in those moments, only in those moments, did I know what I was. No philosophy, no meditation, no book can teach a man himself the way the storm does. It strips him bare. It shows him his own soul. The weak seek shelter. The strong set sail. The war is not out there. It is in here. The battlefield between your ears. Every man fights. But the greatest war is not waged with swords or guns. It is waged in the silent hours, in the dark corners of the mind, where fear and courage grapple like starving wolves. Victory is not won in a day. It is won in moments, when you rise before dawn, when you choose the hard right over the easy wrong, when you stare into the abyss and refuse to blink. The battlefield is open. The enemy is ready. Will you show up? Your suffering is the chisel. Let it carve you into something holy. The alchemy of agony. Pain comes to all men, but not all men kneel before it. Some are broken, others are forged. The difference lies not in the wound, but in the will. I have seen men made bitter by hardship. their hearts shriveled like fruit left too long in the sun. And I have seen others, rarer, brighter souls, who took that same fire and let it burn away all that was weak, all that was false, until only the unbreakable remained. You will suffer. This is not prophecy, but fact. The question is, will you let it diminish you, or will you let it define you? The world wants you sleepwalking, wake up or perish. The great lullaby society is a siren singing you toward shallow waters. It rewards conformity, punishes dissent, and dresses cowardice in the robes of wisdom. It will call you mad for wanting more, foolish for risking much, arrogant for believing yourself capable of greatness. I say, let them talk. The price of awakening is alienation. The cost of truth is loneliness. Pay it gladly. Your hands were made to build cathedrals. Why do you stack pebbles? The sin of smallness. God does not give a man vision to waste it on trifles. That restlessness you feel, that dissatisfaction with the mundane. It is not a curse. It is a calling. The tragedy is not that men fail to reach their potential. The tragedy is that most never even try. Death is coming. What will you do with these precious fleeting hours? The Mortality Manifesto. Every sunset brings you one day closer to your last. This is not morbid. It is liberating. Let the certainty of the end sharpen your resolve, heighten your joys, give weight to your choices. The man who remembers death lives with urgency. The man who ignores it lives with regret. You are either growing or rotting. There is no middle ground. The law of the wild. Observe nature. What does not push upward inevitably decays. The tree that stops reaching for the sun begins to die. The wolf that stops hunting weakens. The river that stops flowing stagnates. You are no different. Comfort is decay in disguise. The divine whisper is calling. Will you have the courage to answer? The summons. There is a voice that speaks to all men, though few listen. It calls you toward your destiny, not with promises of ease, but with the terrible, glorious burden of becoming what you were meant to be. To ignore it is to betray yourself. To heed it is to walk the razor's edge between madness and magnificence. Legacy is not left, it is earned with every waking breath. The immortality of deeds. When you are dust, what will remain? Not your gold, not your trophies, not your empty titles. Only the lives you changed, the truths you spoke, the fires you kindled in other hearts. Begin today. The clock is ticking. The shadows are lengthening, and still you delay. The last sunset you will ignore. The hour is late, though the sky still holds light. You tell yourself there is time, always more time. But the grave takes no promises, accepts no apologies. It comes when it will. I have watched men squander their days like drunkards spilling wine, laughing as the precious liquid soaks into dirt. Only when the bottle is empty do they weep. Tomorrow is a liar's bargain. Today is the only coin you can spend. Will you purchase greatness with it, or let it slip through your fingers like sand? The world is full of ghosts, men who breathed as you do now but left no mark, no echo, no ripple in the eternal stream. Will you join their silent ranks? Your weakness is not a wound, it is a choice. The daily surrender. You call it fatigue when your limbs refuse the weight. You call it caution when your spirit flees the fight. But I name it truly, cowardice. The body grows strong by bearing burdens. The soul grows bold by facing darkness. What have you carried lately? What shadows have you stared down? Every I cannot is a nail in your own coffin. Every I will not is a chain around your destiny. The path of least resistance leads downward, always downward. The fire requires fuel. Will you be ash or flame? The law of sacrifice. No hearth burns without wood. No soul blazes without offering. What have you fed your inner fire today? The damp tinder of distraction, the rotten logs of regret, or the seasoned oak of discipline? Small men fear the flames that might consume them. Great men become the conflagration. Burn bright or burn out. There is no middle way. The mountain does not care about your weariness. The ascent demanded you stand at the base, looking upward, calculating the cost. The mountain cares not for your arithmetic. Every great height was scaled by men no stronger than you, only more resolved. The thin air will starve your lungs. The jagged rocks will tear your hands. The summit will seem forever distant. Climb anyway, or remain in the valley with the other small things. Your ancestors are watching. What will they see? The blood memory. The blood of warriors, of survivors, of those who endured the unendurable, pumps through your veins. And for what? Will you be the weak link in the eternal chain? The spoiled heir who squanders the inheritance of courage? They endured plague and famine and sword for you to exist. What will you endure? Disgrace them or honor them, but choose consciously. The beast must be fed. Starve it at your peril. The wild within civilization has tamed your surface, but the primal still prowls beneath. Deny it too long and it will turn on you, gnawing your bones with addiction, tearing your peace with rage. Let it hunt, let it fight, let it test itself against worthy foes. A caged animal is always dangerous, especially to itself. The silence will judge you. Prepare your answer. Midnight's reckoning when the noise fades and you're left alone with your thoughts. What truth emerges? The mirror of solitude shows no flattery, only fact. Men can lie to the world, to their lovers, even to their gods. But in that silent hour they must face themselves. What will your reflection reveal? The bridge between who you are and who you must become is on fire. The point of no return. Hesitate now and the way back will be lost forever. All growth demands this moment, when safety lies in ashes behind you and only the perilous path remains. Will you mourn the burned bridge, or will you walk forward into your becoming? There are no second crossings.